Hi, welcome to CUNY TV Presents, a dynamic platform that showcases the exceptional talent of New York City filmmakers. I am Brandon Smith of Queer Voices NYC Film Festival. Queer Voices NYC is a nonprofit which I co-founded with Ronald Hinton to make space for queer BIPOC creatives by providing valuable opportunities like our 3-day annual film festival. Today, I am thrilled to introduce our brilliant alumni, Adomako Aman, Iree Mann, Marquez, and Pierre Gonzalez. Let me tell you about them. Adomako Aman, a storyteller, a visual artist, achieved a milestone with his short film at Outfest LA. His documentary, Dancing in the Dark, has over 500,000 views, and his Sade tribute video was featured in Paper magazine. Welcome, Adomako.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Harlem-based Iree Mann, a multi-talented actress, writer, and director, began her journey as New York State champion in Poetry Out Loud. Her beautiful film, Butterfly, has won several awards, including Best Indie Film at Hollywood Indie Film Festival. Welcome, Iree.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Brooklyn-based Marquez, an LA native, is a director, writer, actor, and producer. His work featured in festivals like the New York Latino Film Festival and Seattle Queer Film Festival often explores the resilience and community. Welcome, Mark. Pierre Gonzalez, a versatile actor, director, producer, and advocate for Latina and LGBTQ+ visibility, co-founded Dominican Productions with his fiancé, Cedric Leyva Jr. His TV credits include NCIS NOLA, The Detour, Pose, and Barrio Boy. Welcome, Pierre.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you everyone for being here today, but I would love to start off with just saying, Adomako, can you tell us about what your film piece is about?
Yeah, so Peace is basically about Daniel when he first, meets Leon. Secrecy, discretion, titles becomes, sensitive in terms of making sure that no one finds out anything. But Peace is a love story that dives into the complexities of a down-low queer relationship and really questions what it means to be at peace. So it's a journey that you are going to be on when you watch this film.
So what inspired you to tell this film?
A lot of conversations I've had with people who identify as LGBTQIA, and also growing up in the hood, Before we even began, production today, I was speaking to Iree, and one thing that, that's common when you are, of color or marginalized, it's like the whole, do you smoke thing, So there's like a dance that happens when you are meeting someone you might want to pursue. And so conversation brought this project to life. Mm.
You mentioned the DL culture, and in this film it talks about that. Why was that important for us to see?
Because I feel like this is not only like a domestic thing, I feel like, when we are living outwardly in who we are, that is a privilege, and not everyone gets to experience that. A lot of people, they are exploring their identity and, and sometimes don't feel safe to come out. It's a safety mechanism. I mean, when you think about billionaires, for example, right? How many queer Black billionaires do you know? Some people get a little bit scared and believe that if they attach themselves to certain titles that, their livelihood is at risk. And so I just wanted to explore that in this film.
Great, thank you. Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a look at the clip of Peace.
What's good?
Hi.
So, yeah, that's where I've been working for the past couple of weeks.
Nice.
Yo, look, I'm sorry.
Daniel.
Yo. Shit. Daniel, what's goody? What's good? Chillin'. Who this? It's my piece.
Iree, now tell us about your film, Butterfly.
Yes, absolutely, Brandon. Butterfly tells a story of Renee, as she is the main character. She's on a journey towards self-expression and confidence in who she is and her sexual identity. She meets Molly and they unexpectedly fall in love together, catapulting them to freely express their sexual identity in the limited time they have. And I star as one of the main characters.
Amazing. Now, what inspired you to tell this film?
I wanted to see Black women on screen. I wanted to see a Black love story portrayed authentically on screen. I love films such as Waves by Trevor Edward Schultz. I love Moonlight by Barry Jenkins. Those are one of my favorite films. I just wanted to see Black women do that. And I really wanted to show the journey towards self-expression and the beauty of Black love, and that want and desire really allowed me to make Butterfly.
That's beautiful, and it showed, which
Thank
leads
you.
me to my next question about the casting and the process, because the chemistry was amazing. How was that process with the casting and directing?
Oh, that was actually the easiest process. Out of everything, it was the easiest process, the casting and directing. Casting, I was very specific. I knew exactly who Molly was in my head, and Melissa, who's the actress who plays Molly, she was a printout copy version of my thoughts materialized in the material world. Wow. She was exactly who I envisioned. And the direction, I mean, there were at times where I felt that she would doubt herself and was like, I don't know if I'm the right. I said, no, you are the role. You are the right person for this role. There is no one else who can do this.
So let's look at a clip from Butterfly.
What did you say? I said, you know anywhere I can get some gas?
Yeah, there's a station up the road on Jericho.
Not gas station gas, like Happy Gas.
Oh, no, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Nah, it's cool. I just wanted an excuse to talk to you. I just assume you smoke.
Why?
Because you look like a cool-ass person. Where are you going?
Mark.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So tell us about your short film, Dark Roast.
So Dark Roast is a film about 3 queer, trans, BIPOC baristas that are trying to keep their small coffee shop alive by any means necessary, And when they get threatened to be evicted by their greedy, money-hungry landlord. And this is essentially a comedy, but with real takes, spin on real life, and about gentrification, about chosen family, and yeah, quit messing with the queers. We've had enough.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's felt.
Yeah.
And what inspired you to create this film?
I kind of saw a lot of this happening within the community that I was, just the communities that I navigate. And then I was writing at a coffee shop, and the story kind of started writing itself. And everything just kind of started flowing. So I just ran with it. And I, just like you said, I really want to see Black and brown queer people on TV in more spaces. And so I was like, if I have the chance, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you know, the film is a comedy, but it also touch on the hard topic of gentrification. And,
Yeah.
Why was that important to showcase in this film?
I think because you just do see a lot of people just getting pushed out of their communities, little spoiler, but a big corporation kind of comes and tries to take over this small coffee shop that's essentially this safe space for a bunch of people. And so it's I wanted to kind of mirror what is really happening in real life, but kind of engage the people, keep them entertained. So how to spin it a little, make it a little funny.
So let's look at a clip of Dark Roast.
I found it right here. Tyson takes to begin construction on a high-end cafe right across the street. soft openings start next month. What are we gonna do?
Mezzanine, now. Okay, so we know that we have a month, and that should like give us time to like.
Rats. We'll set them loose. They'll lose the letter grade, and they'll be out of business. Period.
Rats. Great suggestion, Ruby. You be the one getting supplies for that one, or?
I know a guy. Listen, you have to burn it all, starting at the foundations.
Pierre,
What's up?
so tell us about your film, The Odd Year.
The Odd Year. The Odd Year came out of the necessity, again, like everybody else says, just to see black and brown queer people in front of the camera, but as well behind the camera. So I made sure that the set had to look like what we were actually shooting, right? Behind the camera. We're following a character, Val, who decides to go to a New Year's Eve party. And through the night, you know, with all the drinking and having fun, I think she ends up having a little bit of a bad trip. She gets to meet G and gets into a deeper conversation, which then kind of leaves her spinning in the midst of a party.
And what inspired you to create this film?
First, it kind of just started off with my cousin. She wrote a poem, and I remember she shared it with me, and I was like, wow, this is a really cool story. Like, and she was like, I think I want to develop it into a script. And I was like, let's do it. It took us, I think, 5 months going back and forth on edits, and then we finally solidified, you know, the script. And at the end of the day, I just casted all my friends. I just want to see my people thrive, you know what I mean? And I think in a time right now as actors, as performers, you know, there's such limited parts. We're all fighting for this one role. We're all fighting for this. And like, my goal, you know, in the future is just to be able to produce and create my own work. And I don't have to have anybody audition because I already know you're this, you're that, you're this part. I know you're capable of this, you know? And the film, every woman in the film kind of represents a woman in my life. I was raised by amazing, amazing women. And it was just kind of like honoring them in this film.
Thank you, Pierre. Now let's take a look at a clip of The Odd Year.
I don't forgive him, but I miss him. I don't think I feel anything. Bodies on my body, I feel claustrophobic. I feel everything. Everyone could disappear, everything could be gone. It didn't matter. It was only her and I now. Breaths caught in lungs, trapped with excitement, ready to release with the fall of the last second of the year. First time love, perfect summer, college virginity taken. Kiss them farewell. I guess shame on me for believing in an odd year. Shame on me.
So, you know, with all of this amazing film that we're seeing right now, especially as like queer filmmakers, you know, what is something that you had to learn about yourself balancing multiple roles as a filmmaker, actor, or producer? And I'll start with you, Iree.
Absolutely. I wanted to make this film, whether I was going to be producing it or acting in it or writing it. And I felt that I knew the story best, and I wanted to tell the story in my own words and with my direction. And so balancing it just became something natural. I surrounded myself with people who supported me, and I knew that I was telling a story that's true to me. So the titles, I think, came second to everything. At the end of the day, as long as I made the film and as long as I knew it was authentic to my own experience and the story that I wanted to tell, that's all that mattered.
Absolutely, that's beautiful. And Mark, how about you?
I would say patience. I had to be really patient with myself because there's a lot of hurdles that come at you, and I'm a big planner, and so when things kind of go unaccording to plan, I start to like freak out a little bit. So it's like learning to pivot, learning to like quickly reorganize, because like when you're directing or producing too, like everyone kind of looks at you like you gotta have the answers and stuff. So it's like I gotta make a call real quick, but also think of everybody at the same time and think of the project at the same time. So
Did we see a cameo of you in the film?
There's a cameo.
Oh, is that a secret?
No, there's a cameo. Yeah. That was the one retake that I had to do too because we needed a little extra thing, and so I was like, well, since we're already here, let's just go ahead and throw this.
Did you get some coffee? Did you order coffee? No, let me not spoil it.
Okay. You will see.
Yeah, beautiful. How about you?
So with this I feel like as a filmmaker, you just naturally take on as many jobs, especially as like when you're early on in your career. And naturally, just from where I come from, like when you come from like a Black woman, she's the one doing your hair, she's the one cooking your meals, she's helping you clean the house, or she's cleaning the house, and you take on those roles when it comes to the work that you do. So naturally, like as a creator, a filmmaker, I took on those roles. But one thing that was opposite from me, from you, Iree, is that I cannot stand casting. Like casting is such a process just because I feel like it forces you to have to like really be critical about the talent that you're bringing on. And I just like to be given the options and be like, yes, no, yes. So but it's definitely a process. And with every project that I do, I always love the idea of relinquishing a position to give another person an opportunity.
Absolutely.
So
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
How about you, Pierre?
I think, surrounding yourself with the right people, right? I found myself a lot of the time on set when something was going wrong or something wasn't right, just trusting my cinematographer, trusting my lighting guy, trusting the people that are around me and keeping an open mind, right? I think when you're on set, and you guys understand this, like you have a vision, you have the scene, right? We're gonna do these shots, boom, boom, boom. You get it done and you're like, that's not it. What's missing? What's going on? And I'll always have like my assistant be like, maybe you need to, and I'm like, that's exactly what we gotta do. You know what I mean? So I think it's about letting ego go and just kind of going with the flow and problem solving. Like you just problem solve as much as you can. I think we're all fighting to be seen.
Yes.
In one way or another. And I think right now, like I said before, it's just we need to uplift each other now more than ever, right? And we need to push our narratives and our stories now more than ever. And I want to see more New York stories. I want to see more queer New York stories. And I think as long as you have a good mission and you know where you're going, I think, that's just the best route that you could take. It ain't gonna be easy.
Absolutely.
It's never easy.
Yeah.
I wish it was.
agreed.
But look at us now, look at where we're at. All the hard work that we put in brought us to this place.
Absolutely, yes. And the hard work and the vision has been seen. So everyone here is doing amazing work. I'm just curious, like, what do you have going on next as far as projects? Pierre?
Well, I have one more film that we're finally in edits, which I'm going to be submitting into festivals this next season. And my company, Dominican Productions, has been filming archival B-roll for a lot of off-Broadway shows. And right now, I'm just really concentrating on my artistic journey for Pierre, because I think I've been spending these past years pouring into my community and pouring into other people, and now I'm like, I need to make myself a lead in my film.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, but the goal has been to, at the end of the day, just to see more Black and brown people in front and behind the camera. That's my biggest mission. If I could leave that behind, I think that's always been the goal for all of us, And I think because we grew up not seeing ourselves, this is our generation's mission, so that the kids don't have to deal with that. So the kids will see themselves, the queer kids, the non-binary, you will see yourself, and then you will feel comfortable enough to do what you want to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
And how about yourself, Adomako?
So, after the success of Peace, I'm now interested in turning it into a feature.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so, the script has been made, and I am currently crowdfunding for that, so that's a journey. And bringing on people to come on board for this project. And it's a baby, that's growing. So I'm super excited for what people can see that I've been working on. But just what Pierre said too, is just about really diversifying what we see on screen. A lot of people don't believe things are possible until they see themselves on there. So let's do that. So I'm doing that with this project.
Amazing. And Mark?
Right now, I also have plans to, I can't say exactly yet until it's more finalized, but to make Dark Roast a little bigger. But I have another short film in pre-pro right now, and then a lot of my team, we all just really liked working with each other, the actors included. Like, we all have kind of are interlaced with like different projects coming up. And then so my co-producer, and he was my AD for Dark Roast as well, but like also someone I'm gonna work with again for another project, so we're cooking.
Incredible. Iree?
Yeah, so I'm writing a short film at the moment, and it is about my younger self and finding solace in a time where I grew up, or just examining the negative family dynamics that I had to grow up in, and finding solace through performing arts, poetry, acting, and artistic expression. So that's what I'm writing and working on right now.
That's incredible. And just to my last question, you know, you are all alumni from Queer Voices NYC Film Festival. How has that experience, you know, changed you or helped you in your artistry?
Wow. I will say that when I got the email that I got accepted, that the audio got accepted into the festival, I got denied. I got not selected 10 times for 10 different festivals that I really, really wanted, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like one after the other. And you know, that kind of starts to chisel you a little bit. And I remember getting the email, and I don't know if you call it God, you call it the spirit or something, but like something came through me and was like, okay. Like, so I say that to say that you kind of saved me in that moment. And I think ever since then, I've just been trusting the work that I've done and not let not selected really affect me the way that it has been, right? Because we want our work to be good. We want to be seen. We want to be told that we're good. And we're not gonna always get that.
Yeah.
You know? So again, what's the mission aside? What are you trying to do at the end of the day? And I just try to concentrate on that. And I thank you for everything you've done for us, for bringing us here, and for accepting the audience into your festival.
Absolutely. Our pleasure.
Well, it's just because I was at the first one, I believe, correct?
Correct.
And so it's just, I love seeing the journey of what Queer Voices is doing. Ronald, he's not here today, but I have a relationship with him, who he then introduced me to you. And to see his growth and to see your growth is just super exciting. And one thing that I love is always to be in, you know, in people who walk the same experience with me. And so, you know, being able to be in spaces that are curated for us to meet, because not often do we get the chance to meet, is really thrilling for me, because this gives us an opportunity to learn from one another and share resources to then, you know, amplify our voices and to become better. So, you know, you creating this space is, you know, I thank you, I thank Ronald, I thank your team, because it's creating an opportunity for more people who don't get the chance to meet me and then share resources. So, gracias, shukran, thank you, God bless, I appreciate you.
Much love, thank you. How about you, Mark?
I also thank you guys, because this is what I saw all your films before the festival did, because I was a screener. And so even just in being involved on like the backside, kind of just seeing everything pieced together and seeing the growth of the festival has been really, really cool. And now to be on CUNY TV, like thank you, like this is great, this is awesome. And like you said, to be consistently meeting or putting in spaces that you're meeting other filmmakers, like all the events all year long, like you get the most out of going to everything. And I think even right now the submission, or like volunteers open for like, if you want to get involved with next season.
Yeah.
And so that's like a perfect way to meet your community, especially Black, brown, queer filmmakers of color. And yeah, opening doors.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Brandon, and thank you, Jose and Denise and Ronald. I wasn't able to make the Queer Voices Festival. I was away, and so when I knew that Butterfly was accepted, I was so thankful. I mean, again, this is my first experience with film festivals, but I was just like, you see me. And then the fact that I was able to follow up and able to be seen even when I was not physically present and they reached out, I said, absolutely, I would love to submit my film into this circuit. And because of that, I am seen, and I'm seen with you, and I have a community. And so that opens doors, and that just even further pushes the relationships that the queer community doesn't have all the time, and we're not seen as often in the filmmaking landscape. But I feel that because we're here, we are beginning to break down those doors and those barriers, and thank you for that.
Absolutely. You know, Ronald and I, we created this as a way to have community and a space for us to be seen and our voices heard. So just hearing that today, we're both very grateful and privileged to just be able to screen your work and be amongst community for artistry, because our voices are important. I hope you found today's conversation as inspiring as I did. A heartfelt thank you to all our amazing guests, Adomako Aman, Iree Mann, Marquez, and Pierre Gonzalez, for sharing their incredible stories and insights with us. We'd be thrilled to have you join us for our up-and-coming season of the Queer Voices NYC Film Festival. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on social media for the latest updates at Queer Voices NYC. You can catch this episode along with all the fantastic films featured today and many more on the CUNY TV YouTube channel. And don't forget, everything is also available on the CUNY TV app. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Thank you all for watching.